Hi everyone and welcome back. So today I have a first impressions on these. So this is a new brush launch from Makeup Revolution and this is the Silicone contour set. And this was £10 for 3 brushes and it's kind of playing along the whole kind of trend of the applying makeup using some sort of silicone sponge. I know that's kind of gone viral a bit lately. And speaking of which, Makeup Revolution are also having their own kind of dupe version of that coming out soon. But that's not out yet, they just have these, which are the 3 brushes. I've used each of these brushes once and I've kind of had very strong opinions on them, so I thought even though it's going to be a first impression, I don't think my opinion on these are going to change. And also I'm really sorry if the lighting or the noise is kind of off. We've moved recently, this is my first time filming in this location, so I'm still trying to get used to it. There's quite a main road outside where we live, so there might be a lot of traffic, but there's not really much I can do about that. If it doesn't work in the editing, I'll find something else. So these are what the brushes themselves look like. So you have a silicone flat brush, which is this pinky one here, and then you have a silicone blending brush and a silicone contour brush. Now I'm going to start off with this one, which is kind of the main one, and I've deliberately left all of these dirty and I'll get to the reason for that in a minute. So these are very firm brushes, there's not a lot of bends to them, so they are kind of very firm when you actually go to apply the product to your face. You haven't kind of got a lot of give with the brushes themselves, which is something that I didn't personally like. So I used this one for the first time today to apply my foundation and also my primer. Now in terms of products that don't really show up on your face, so like highlighter, I'm talking about cream products here, so say like cream highlighter, primer, it's really good for that because you don't need such a fine application. So I did find that this was really good for applying my primer, although I did need to spend a bit of time because it doesn't blend, obviously because it's silicone. The whole point of these brushes is that they don't absorb any product, so there's no wasted product. So for primer and kind of I wear like a liquid highlighter before I then put on my foundation, it was really good for that. It kind of really did leave a nice flawless finish on my skin. However, when I then went on to use this foundation, it was pretty terrible. I actually gave up halfway through and used the normal foundation brush. When you actually go to apply the product to your face, it almost drags the product to the extent that it doesn't actually then put any on your face, so you're just kind of dragging the product around your face. There are a lot of lines as well. It's basically impossible to get a smooth finish and a smooth look with this brush. Although I get that it's a good idea that it's obviously not absorbing any extra product, you kind of need that so that you can actually blend the product properly into your face. Whereas with this, like I said, it was just kind of moving the product around your face. If you have basically perfect skin and you wear little to no foundation, you can probably get away with this, but for myself, because I have very acne prone skin, I need a fuller coverage foundation, so this for me just didn't work at all. It was just basically as I was trying to cover certain areas, it was just then dragging the product off and I had to basically start again. So I didn't even end up using this for concealer, I just did half of my face, saw it wasn't working and then moved on to another brush. So for foundation, these are pretty terrible, unless like I said you have perfect skin. So the next one I tried was this, and this is the silicone contour brush. It's not as firm as the foundation brush, it is a bit more flimsy, I don't know if you can see, which I kind of get the point was so that you could kind of blend it more into the contours. Again, this just dragged the product around my face, it didn't blend in at all. As I was kind of trying to buff in the bronzer, it was just dragging it off my face, it was leaving lines. So in terms of just for actual like makeup application, in terms of like I said makeup that is kind of visible on your face, not like say primer, these aren't very good. I wouldn't recommend them for that. However, there is another use that I've been using these for, and that was actually what I used this one for, and this is the silicone flat brush. Again, this one's slightly flimsy as well. I'd probably say this is the flimsiest of the lot, but when I say flimsy, I don't mean that in a bad way, I just mean there's a bit more give to it. What I actually used this one for was for applying a face mask, and that's probably what I'm going to use these brushes for. It was really good because obviously with a face mask you don't really care how it looks, you just kind of want an even application. So I used this for that, and that meant that there wasn't any product like sinking into my hands as I was applying it, and it just kind of helped me to get smooth full coverage of the face mask, so it was really good for that. And also these are basically so easy to clean, they're just wipe clean, which I will show you in a minute. That's why I've just left those ones dirty. And also that means because with my face masks they're obviously in pots, the majority of them anyway, and that means you're not kind of contaminating the products by using your hands. So I think that these are really good for face masks. So if you're into your skincare, I think that these would be really good. I kind of wish that you could buy just the one on its own, but at the moment they only have them in a set for for face. And then they also have an eye brush set as well, and I would even want to try using these on my eyes because I can imagine that would be very painful. I can't see how you're going to get a smooth finish with eye makeup using these brushes. So for makeup, I would probably say give these a miss, but if you are into using kind of like, I guess they would even work with face creams as well if you want more fuller coverage. Just if you kind of have any kind of skincare product that you're a bit wary about wasting products, say if it's particularly expensive as well, I think these would be really good for that, and these are what I'm going to keep using these brushes for. But for makeup, I would not recommend these at all. They're just kind of, like I said, move the product around your face and they don't really do much. But of course, a good thing about these brushes is because they are silicone, they're so easy to clean, so I've kind of just got a bit of micellar water. And as you can see, that's just come clean just like that. Although having said that, there is now a bit of staining on this one because it is a clear kind of silicone brush. In terms of for on-the-go use, you can just wipe them clean with a bit of water and a tissue. So I think these are going to be really good for travel as well. They're not going to kind of dirty up your makeup bag. And again, I'll just do the other one. I think if you can find a way to make them work for your foundation, like I said, if you have very clear skin, I think you could probably get away with these, but you do need to spend quite a lot of time actually trying to get a decent kind of coverage and look and finish to the skin, because as you would get one area kind of nice, you would then go to a new area and you just get lines. It's basically impossible to get a smooth finish, but if you can find a way to make this work, like I said, if you have better skin than me, I think that these would be good for that. But in terms of for me, for my skin type and the coverage that I look for when I wear foundation, these just didn't work at all. But for skincare, face mask, moisturiser, etc., I think these are going to be really good, so I'm probably going to put these in my skincare drawer. So I hope that did help some of you. I hate that I couldn't give a really glowing review on these because I've not seen anything like this kind of on the high street before. I think it's a really unique concept, so I did really want it to work. They just didn't suit the purpose that I needed them for foundation, but like I said, I'm going to use these for skincare and I think they'll work really well for that. One thing that I did forget to add with these is it's basically impossible to get in between like this kind of smaller areas of your face, so like in between like the sides of your nose and kind of in between the eye area. There's no blendability for that at all. So like I said, if you have good skin, probably isn't an issue, but if like me you need fuller coverage kind of everywhere, it just won't work at all. So that was my kind of quick review on these brushes. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you have any questions down below and I'll see you next time.